practice to cultivate nobility. Bring the tips of your fingers together in Hakini Mudra, and then take your hands and raise them over your head as if you're wearing a crown. Take a moment to think about nobility. What does that mean to you? Nobility is a quality in and of itself, but what are some of the other qualities that make up nobility? Perhaps generosity, uprightness, wholeheartedness. I'm sure you can think of many of your own. Allow the mudra to come back to rest in front of your heart, as if your heart was wearing its own crown. And then fold the palms together, dropping your head towards your hands. Slide out into a child's pose, resting your head on or towards the ground. Another quality of nobility is humility, the ability to take yourself out of the center of things. Walk your arms over to the right side, just as far as they'll go. And you may even want to take that left hand and crawl it over on top of your right hand if you have the room. No need to force it, though. Allow the breath to deepen. And then start to slowly walk your hands back through center, feeling the center for a moment. And then you can extend both arms over to the left side. Keep your hips pretty low towards your heels, everything nice and anchored. As the arms extend to the left, you can really feel how that right lung opens up. Invite the breath in deeper. The right hand might crawl its way on top of the left one if that feels good. Slowly walk your hands back through to center. Allow the head to fall in between your upper arms for a moment. And then crawling up through hands and knees. Take your downward facing dog. Curl your toes under. Raise your hips to the sky. Settle into your shape here. If you need to shake things around a little bit, go for it. And then from down dog, raise your right toes up to the sky. You can bend that knee that's up in the air and make a couple of big circles with it all around the sky. And then slowly change directions, make a couple of big circles going the other way. And as you finish that next circle, extend your right toes all the way up in the air. And glide that right knee up towards your forehead. Take your time. Try to really smooth out your movements. And then send the right leg way up and back behind you again. Slide it in towards the forehead. Try to lift the right foot away from the ground even a little more. And then raise the leg high to the sky. One more time, glide that right knee all the way up towards your forehead. And then step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So walk your right hand inside of it and set up in a lizard position here, looking forward. Take a deep breath into the shape. And then stepping the left foot forward, come to squat at the top of your mat. You can connect the palms together in a prayer, the elbows gently pressing the knees apart. If you have the room, that prayer can turn into Hakini Mudra, the fingertips only pressing together. If that's a little too intense on the hips, keep your prayer. From your squat, fold forward. Take your time in everything you do today. Walk the feet in so they're underneath your hips, just a few inches apart, and take a big bow over your legs. Utkatasana, standing forward bend. Imagine your brain just emptying out. And then bend your knees for Utkatasana, fierce pose, powerful pose. Sink the hips low as you raise the arms high. Steady your breathing here. Imagine you have that crown on your head still. Stand all the way up, Tadasana, release your arms by your side. Such a noble shape. From Tadasana, hook your thumbs in front of you, soften your knees and swing your arms up and back. And then you're going to open your arms wide and dive out over your legs. Just cascade through the air until your fingers touch the earth. Slowly step your right leg to the back of the mat. You can let the knee come down as the arms reach up to the sky for Asana. Being attentive with everything that you do. Spend a few breaths here in this Asana. It's quite noble not to overreach, not to overdo it, not to grasp. Next, exhale, allow the hands to drop, curl the back toes under, and slowly step back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, ripple yourself forward to the top of a plank. And all the way to the ground you go in one solid piece you can. Lower down, place your forehead down, uncurl your toes, reach your arms out in front of you with the palms facing up. The full prostration, a really wonderful opportunity to lay something down. Take your hands under the shoulders, cobra, raise the heart. Try to have very little weight in the hands. And on an out breath, child's pose. Fold your seat back to your heels and rest. From child's pose, climbing up through hands and knees, curl your toes, raise your hips, downward facing dog. Settling in, and it's going to be left side, left toes up to the sky, bend the knee that's up in the air and start to circle that hip around, painting your knee across the sky in one direction, and then pausing and going in the other direction. And then extend your left leg way up in the air, straighten the knee. Glide that knee all the way up towards your forehead, shifting shoulders over wrists and rounding the upper back. Send it away from you again, reach it to the sky, and so slow and mindfully draw that knee in. Maybe it can even touch your third eye. And last one, extend it up and back behind you. Glide it in, and this time you'll step it to the outside of your left hand. Taking a moment just to settle into that lizard position, gazing forward, shifting a little on the ball of the back foot, and then springing from that back foot forward into squat pose. The toes can turn out. You can be as wide as your mat, hands in prayer or hands in Hakini Mudra, which will give you just a little bit more hip opening here. Breathing deep, putting that imaginary crown on so your spine feels really magnificently tall and long. And then fold over your long, straight legs, turn the toes to parallel, and bring your feet right underneath your sitting bones. From your standing forward bend, the hips drop as you come into chair pose, Utkatasana. So bending the knees very generously, lower your seat and raise your arms up alongside your ears. Notice if you feel like you still have a neck here, right? Sometimes the noble thing to do in this shape is to give yourself your neck back, maybe by opening your arms a little bit wider or even softening the elbows. And then from Utkatasana, stand all the way up. Release your arms by your side. Tadasana, mountain pose. Hook your thumbs in front of you. Put the other thumb in front. Swing the arms up, lean back. And then open the arms wide. Dive through the air until your fingers touch the ground. Landing back in that forward fold. Take your time. Step your left foot way back to the back of the mat. Lower the knee down as you lift your arms up into the sky. And we'll pause here to expand this one with some breathing. I don't know about you, but sometimes I lose my nobility in this shape in an effort to go a little deeper. So stay gentle and soft, and then drop your hands to step back, downward facing dog. Landing in your dog, and then ride that forward into plank pose. Lower your plank all the way down to your belly and rest in that full pranam. Reach your arms out, backs of the hands on the floor, palms open, receptive, gracious, not fighting things, but really letting them come and go. Hands under the shoulders, cobra. This time you can lift your hands an inch or so away from the ground so that you're really using your strong back here. Strong back and a soft heart. And then hands come back to the ground to press you back into child's pose. It's also noble to know when to rest. Come on up through hands and knees, and then downward facing dog. Raise your hips to the sky. Reach your right toes up and back behind you. Bend the knee in the air and just once circle it around in one direction and then in the other direction. And then you'll extend those right toes way up to the sky again. Glide the right knee all the way up towards your forehead. Lift the right foot far away from the ground. And then sweep it up and back behind you. And slide it in towards the forehead, really using those deep low belly muscles. Slide it back. And one more time. Gently slide it in and then look forward, step that right foot to the outer edge of the mat outside the right hand. Move the hand in. You can put the back knee down. We'll take lizard a little deeper this time. If you have the room to put your elbows down, go for it. You don't have to though. You can always put them on a block. Try to keep the right knee moving towards the center line of the shape. To make it a little bit more intense, you can also curl the back toes and lift that back knee up off the floor. If you are on your elbows, come back to your palms, look forward, step forward into squat at the top of the mat. Gather up your hands in a prayer or in Hakini Mudra, that sweet crown in front of your heart. Breathe well, be generous. And on your next out breath, you can fold over long straight legs here. Let the head just fall. Wiggle the feet in underneath your hips as you take a deep bow. And then you can wiggle the feet in a little bit closer until the inner edges are touching. So seal them all the way together. And now come into Utkatasana, bending your knees and raising your arms. Whole inseam of the legs zip together. Take your palms together and prayer at your heart. And twist. Tuck your left elbow over the right thigh. Press the palms together and try to spread your heart wide to the side of the room. Keep the front heart really wide open. How do you maintain your nobility in a shape like this? Come back to Utkatasana. Keep your seat low, raise your arms. And then go the other direction. Bring the prayer into the heart. Tuck the right elbow over the left thigh. Gently push the hands together to widen the collarbones and twist to the left side. Back into your Utkatasana. Stay low, reach the arms up. And then Tadasana, that beautiful, magnificent mountain. Hook the thumbs in front of you, swing arms up, arch back. Open your arms wide, almost as if you could feel the texture of the air as you fall forward all the way down over your legs. Right leg steps back, lower the knee down, lift your arms up into the air for your Asana. And then this time we'll add a twist here, so bring those hands into prayer in front of your heart and take the right elbow across the left thigh, just like we did in that chair twist. Push the hands together and open your heart to the left side. Try to lean back here. You almost can't lean back too much. It really helps encourage a sense of trust within yourself to lean back like that. And then for a little extra, you can curl the back toes under and lift that back knee up off the floor. If that's too much, you can always put the knee back down. Again, maintaining your nobility, your grace, your composure in any circumstance. Drop your hands to frame the front foot, step back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Reach your heart out long into a bright plank. And then lower your belly all the way to the ground for full pranam. Keep offering it up, whatever you've got to offer up here in this practice. Your heart, your day, your frustrations, your happiness, your sadness. You offer it to your practice. Reach your hands back behind you, interlace them, and then lift everything that you can lift away from the ground up. So chest, the legs, the arms, the head. Think long more than think lifted. Just try to get as super long as you can. And when you let go, do so really mindfully. Releasing down, take your hands under your shoulders, press back into child's pose. Settle in for a moment. Let your breath deepen. Let your mind and heart settle. And then come through hands and knees into downward facing dog. From down dog, raise your left toes up to the sky behind you. Bend the knee that's in the air. And just once, one big circle in one direction with that knee and one big circle in the other direction. Slowly slide that left knee all the way in towards your forehead. Lift the foot away from the ground and then back up to the sky it goes. Left knee into the forehead, a slight shift forward of the upper body, and back up into the sky it goes. And last time, left knee slides its way forward, and then you'll plant that foot to the outside of the left hand at the front of the mat. So in this lizard, you can put the right knee down this time, and if there's space, put the elbows down. If there's not, no problem. You got plenty of time in this journey to get there. You can also use your prop underneath your forearms. And for those of you who did on the other side, you'll take it a step further by curling the right toes under and lifting your right knee from the floor. The left inner edge of the foot is heavy, the inside of the left foot, and the left knee is hugging the midline. And the heart still has a really sweet lifted quality. It's also noble to stay when things get challenging. Step forward into squat at the top of the mat. Bring the palms to prayer or to Hakini Mudra. And then fold yourself out over long legs. Raise your hips to the sky. Take a bow. Wiggle the feet in so they're underneath your hips. And then inch them in all the way until the inner edges are touching. Bend your knees, raise your arms, Utkatasana. Bring the hands into prayer at heart center in your Utkatasana. Cross your left elbow over your right thigh, twist, and you might stay right there, or that left hand can come to your heart and the right arm reaches to the sky, or maybe that left hand can even touch the floor outside your right foot. Remember, you can always go back to a simpler, earlier version if you need to. Spread your wings to really invite that breath in. Collect the hands back to prayer. Stay low in Utkatasana. Reach your arms up. Try not to be in a hurry to get to later. Let's enjoy now. Hands in a prayer, right elbow tucks over left thigh. You can take the right palm to your heart, the left palm to the sky, or maybe even right fingertips to the ground outside your left foot. You can always put a block there too. Good. Invite the breath to really fill you up. Try to keep your graciousness about you, and then bring it back in. Hands to heart center, Utkatasana. Stay low, arms high. And Tadasana, your mighty mountain pose. Straighten your legs, lower your arms slowly by your side. Hook your thumbs, swing the arms up, lean it on back. Open wide, dive out over your legs, just fall over yourself. Fold in, and then take left leg back. The knee kisses the ground, arms reach to the sky. Connect the palms in a prayer at your heart. Tuck your left elbow over your right thigh and take that prayer twist. Leaning back, maybe staying here, or curling back toes under and raising that back knee from the earth to add just a little more challenge. Hug the outer shins towards each other. That'll help keep you steady here. Anchor yourself to your breath. Release the twist, lower the hands to frame the foot, step back, downward facing dog. Take that for a roll forward into your plank pose. And in one solid piece, lower plank all the way to the earth where you get to lay it out. Uncurl the toes, reach the arms forward, forehead kisses the ground, palms are open, let go, let go. Sweep the arms back, interlace them again. Raise everything from the ground for Shalabhasana, the locust. Raise your chest, your arms, your legs, your head. Bring the chin down just the teeniest little bit, and then you can really lift from your insides. Such a great pose for a yogi, right? Strong, strong back, wide open, soft heart. Lower down, hands under the shoulders, press back into child's pose, Balasana. Hands and knees, curl the toes, raise your hips, downward facing dog. So let's add on to this one more time. Raise your right toes up to the sky. Go ahead and just slide that knee right up into your nose. And then raise it back behind you again. This time take your right knee to your right shoulder. Hike it way up to that outer shoulder. Really use your belly muscles and raise it behind you again. Now you're going to take your right knee across and under to the left elbow. Keep it there. Shoot your right leg out to the side. Straighten it on the ground and peel your left arm right up in the air. That left arm can go straight up to the sky like an exclamation point, or you can reach it back behind you. Turn this into a back bend. It's up to you. Leaning back as if you're going to touch the floor behind you. The toppled triangle, such a beautiful pose. Slowly, slowly turn that back into one-leg dog. And you're going to step that right foot up to the outside edge of the mat. Getting into that lizard prep again. Both hands inside the foot. Keep the back knee off the ground this time. Tuck your right shoulder behind your right knee and open your arms out to the side like airplane wings. That's one option here. You can also reach behind you and make a bind. That right hand can try to catch your left wrist. Notice where there's strain or overworking. See if you can soften the edges. Come back to your graciousness. If your imaginary crown fell off, put it back on and reclaim your nobility. Drop your hands inside your right foot. Step forward, squat pose at the top of the mat. Hands connect in prayer or in Hakini Mudra. You're welcome to stay there. Or from the squat, plant your hands in front of you. Walk your feet together and take crow pose, Bakasana. Shins to the back of the upper arms. Make yourself a tiny little package. Look forward. Lead with the heart. All you've got to do is move your heart forward. And then one day the feet will be able to come right up off the mat. 3 deep breaths in your crow pose if you're there. Otherwise, hang out and squat. And then we'll meet in the standing forward bend. So lower your feet down if you were in the crow. Walk them in if you were in squat. Fold over straight legs. Keep your feet under your sitting bones, few inches apart. Loop your big toes up with your first 3 fingers. Stretch the heart forward, breathe in, and then dive into your legs as you breathe out. It's okay to bend your knees here. They can be bent as much as they need to be. Keep crawling your body towards your thighs, lifting your sitting bones up and a little bit forward. Release the toes, heel toe the feet together. Utkatasana. Now we're going to make this one even a little bit fancier. Just do your best with it. Ankle to knee, left foot hooks over right thigh. Take your hands to prayer at heart center. Keep your hips nice and low. Try to twist. Maybe your left arm can come to your left foot. Try to get that foot above the elbow. If you're there, maybe the left fingers come to the floor and the right arm reaches up to the sky. Try to stack your shoulders as if you just have one long arm reaching from the floor to the sky. And in no hurry, slowly find your Tadasana, standing in your mountain pose. Play the movie in reverse until you stand up tall, feet on the ground, arms by your side, breath full, crown on your head. Hook your thumbs, swing arms up, arch back. Open the arms wide, dive through the air, falling slowly. Bow in, and then step the right leg back. Lower the knee down, lift your arms up into the air. And then those hands are going to come down and frame your front foot so that you can come into a half Hanuman or a runner stretch. Draw the hips back. Scooch your left foot forward just a couple of inches and take a bow over it. That might be plenty. You can absolutely stay here. Or if you want to take this one further, you'll head towards full Hanuman. Start to slide your left foot forward. Any little bit will do. You can put a block or any prop under the left thigh to hold you up, or you can put something under your hands to hold you up. If you can come all the way down to the floor, or if you're seated on a block, raise your arms and make that crown above your head again. Hakini Mudra, tips of the fingers touching. almost like a halo. And let it inspire your nobility, whatever that means to you, to be gracious and generous, to be fair, to be kind, to be steady. Come back to that runner's stretch. So scoot your left foot back, bring your hips over that right knee, and then bend your front knee, curl the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Ride that forward into plank pose. Take your time, lowering all the way down to your belly, and reach your arms out for the full pranam. Letting it go, whatever it is. Reaching the arms back behind you. This time, hold your ankles if you can catch them. If not, you can always just sweep the arms back again. Raise yourself from the ground. Raise every bit of you except for the pelvis, the tailbone. Try to keep that anchoring down, and then open that heart. Fly it up and towards the sky. Try not to use your forehead or your eyeballs to lift you up, but really from the inside. And then slowly and gently you let go, press back into child's pose, arrive there. And then from child's pose, coming through hands and knees to curl the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Last one like this. Raise your left toes up to the sky behind you. You're welcome to circle that knee around a couple of times. And then raise it up and glide the left knee all the way up towards the forehead. And slide it away behind you. This time, left knee's coming to left shoulder. Take your time with it. Keep the foot raised way away from the ground. Left toes to the sky. Last one, left knee to right elbow. Stay there. Straighten the leg out. Put the foot down and raise your right arm to the sky like you're piercing the clouds with your fingers. Or reach that top arm way back behind you. Turn it into more of a back bend. And then be so mindful, be so careful with yourself as you come out of it and come back into that one-legged dog position. So the right hand comes down, pull that left leg out from underneath you, step it forward to the outside edge of the mat for your lizard. A little airplane style this time, left shoulder behind left knee, arms winging out to the side. Breath is still steady, or you're going to reach around and bind. The left hand can try to hold the right wrist here, or whatever you can manage to hold on to. Stay with yourself, stay steady with your breath. And then release hands to the inside of the front foot. Step forward into squat at the top of your space. Lower the seat. Hands come to prayer or Hakini Mudra. Straighten your legs out, walk your feet in a little closer now, and let's try a Parsva Bakasana. So feet together, knees together, twist to the right side. Plant your palms as if you're in Chaturanga. Lead with your heart, look forward. Try lifting the top foot first, and then maybe the bottom one kisses it. Maybe if you're in it, both legs can straighten to the side, and the top one can lift away from the bottom one. Bring everything back into that little tiptoe squat position. Taking your time, feel the center for a moment, and then twist to the left. Try to tuck your right arm as far as it'll go over your left thigh. Plant your palms to the side of your space. Look forward, lean forward, and pluck your feet up off the ground. Maybe the legs straighten, maybe not. You can give it a try, and that top one can lift a few inches from the bottom one. And then fold it all back in. You're going to land eventually in a standing forward bend. So straightening the legs out, take a dive over them. Open your feet so they're underneath your sitting bones, a few inches apart. Step on your hands, bend your knees as much as you need to. Get the whole palm under your foot, and then take a fold over your legs. Releasing your hands from beneath the feet, heel-toe your feet together, inner edges touching, knees touching, bend your knees, Utkatasana, Let's try that fun ankle to knee again. Right ankle hooks over left thigh. Hands come to prayer. And you're twisting to the left. Try to get your right foot all the way up to the back of the right arm near the armpit. You can keep the hands in prayer or drop right fingers down, raise left arm up. Stay close to your breath. Stay close to your heart. Play it in reverse. Bring the palms back in. Untwist and step down. Tadasana. Arms by your side. Collecting your grace again. Opening your heart again. Hook the thumbs. Put the funny thumb in front. Swing the arms up. Lean back. Open the arms wide like you're diving through honey. Slowly flow down. Touch the ground. And step your left leg way back to the back of the mat. Arms go up into the sky, Anjaneyasana. And then lower hands down to frame the front foot. Glide the hips back to straighten the front leg for that half Hanuman. Folding over the right leg. Stay there if that's plenty for you, that's wonderful. Or you can look forward and start to slide that left foot further and further away from you, heading towards Hanumanasana, the full split, using any props that you like to make this work best for your body here. It's not getting into the shape, achieving the shape, being able to say, I did that changes us. It's everything that happens along the way. If you're fully in the shape, take your Hakini Mudra over your head. Remembering now is the new later. Stay present. Come back to your half Hanuman, your runner's stretch, and then bend the front knee, shift back into a lunge. Curl your back toes, downward facing dog, landing there. Then riding the wave of your inhale forward to plank pose. Settle that plank slowly down to the ground for one final full prostration, reaching the arms out and just letting go. Sweep the arms behind you. You can hold the ankles from the outside, or to go a little further, hold them from the inside this time with the thumbs pointing up and the palms facing away from each other. For Dhanurasana, the bow pose, raise your toes and peel your heart from the sky. Open your chest. And reach those legs back strong, almost as if you could straighten them one day. And then when you do come out, do so even slower than you went in, even more mindfully than you went in. Lower all the way to the earth. Turn your head to one side and rest well. And then you can change directions with the head. Turn it to the other side. Take a few moments to rest like that, giving an equal stretch to both sides of the neck. Bring your forehead to the ground, palms under your shoulders, press your way on back into child's pose. Keep the knees a little wide here so you still have a little bit of a natural curve of the spine, a little tiny sense of a back bend in the upper back. And then climbing through hands and knees into downward facing dog. Raise your right toes up to the sky behind you. Take your time. Open up that knee a little if you like, and then you're going to turn that into a pigeon. Glide the right knee up between the thumbs. Raise your heart. Get lots of room in the spine. And then slowly walk out and fold down over that front leg. You can place extra attention on your exhale now as we come towards the end of the practice, the forward bending section that encourages you to really turn inward. Walk your hands back in, raise your heart, lift your chest. Shift enough to the right that you can swing that left leg around in front of you and come into Gomukhasana, left knee over right. You can always modify by sitting on something or stretching the bottom leg out straight. Now add the arms, right elbow points up, left elbow points down behind you. You can bridge the gap between the hands, if there is one, with a strap or even a belt or a bathrobe belt or a towel. Put your imaginary crown on here, right? So your spine is still in that beautiful Tadasana shape, rising up towards the sky, chin level with the ground. Another good yogi pose, nice strong back and soft, wide open heart. After a few breaths with the arms connected like that, then you can gently release the arms. As you release the arms, you have a few options. You can stay where you are. You can walk forward and take a forward fold here if you have the room for that. If that's too much, you can always stay upright. Or you can add a twist, bringing hands to prayer and tucking right arm across left thigh, turning towards the left, trying to open the front of the heart. Lean back and really trust yourself. If you were in the fold, start to walk up. If you were in the twist, unwrap. And it's a little bit of a breakdance style move here. You're going to walk around to the right, spinning on the balls of your feet until you end up facing the back of the mat. Walk your hands forward, walk your feet in, downward facing dog. Or any way that you get there, find a downward facing dog. And let's do that on the other side. So you'll raise your left leg slowly up into the air. Any little movements that you need there. Before you slide it in for pigeon on the left side. Bring your knee up towards your left thumb. Settle the center of the back thigh down to the floor. Raise your heart first, make lots of room. And then take a fold down. And you can always put a pillow block or something under the forehead if you need. You might have a big sigh out through an open mouth. To release this one, lift your gaze, start to walk your hands back under your heart, shift a little weight to the left so that you can bring that right leg around in front of you. And then take Gomukhasana on this side, so right knee stacked over the left. Get both sitting bones nicely well rooted. Tall spine. And then adding arms, the left elbow points up and the right elbow points down. Reach for the hands or reach for something to bridge that gap. You can always grab your t-shirt. And then look straight ahead. Try to make your forehead soft. Your breath really steady. Thinking again perhaps about nobility. We often think it has something to do with kings and queens or knights of the round table, but really the root of the word comes from the word for wisdom. Release your arms and you can stay there. You can fold forward, walking the arms forward, dropping the head. Or you can take a twist, bringing the hands to prayer. Tuck the left elbow across the right thigh and turn towards the right, leaning into the back of your heart. And then gently letting go. If you were twisted, unravel the twist. If you were in the forward fold, start to walk your hands in and lengthen your spine up tall again. And here you can simply shake the legs out in front of you. Stretch them forward. Take a little walk back with the sitting bones and raise your spine tall. Fold over your long legs, Paschimottanasana. You can glide the hands forward towards the feet. They may reach the feet, they may not. Don't worry too much about it. Allow the head to drop for sure here. But keep the front line of the spine really long and the heart reaching towards the toes. A nice quiet pose to drop inside. Imagine breathing deep into the caves of your bones, all the way into the bone marrow. Begin to roll yourself up to a tall spine, and with as little fuss as possible, you can just roll right down and take your Shavasana. Allow yourself to be held, to feel all the support that's around you, to acknowledge that, and to rest in your own grace and nobility. Namaste.